these places invest in yourself. Spend some time investing in yourself and not just expecting everybody else to invest into you. And I think it's a lot easier to quit if you feel like everybody else is pushing you in a direction and you're not doing any of the pushing yourself. Like when you do those hard workouts outside of your development session and all those other things, like I think those are more important than the development sessions themselves when it comes down to like, hey, you're expected to perform on a very personal level. So if you don't do any self-investment before you do any of these things, I think it's easier to just be like, oh, like I didn't really want to be here. Like I didn't invest in myself. I didn't make this personal. I don't care about that oath.
Dang,
dude. That's an ad read that turned into a mentorship session. You know what I mean? Like,
ooh,
trying.
There was some feelings behind that.
Well, I mean,
but it's true.
You see these folks that expect everything to come from an outside entity into them. Like, oh, what can I get out of this? And I get being young and a little narcissistic, right? Obviously, but if you don't do anything, if you don't spend your own money on gear before you join, which is not a requirement, right? If you don't spend time by yourself working out, you're testing yourself and investing in yourself, and all you do is like, I go to development sessions, I do what they tell me to do. Like I show up and I use the gear that they give me. Like it's all like on somebody else. It's you're never making it a personal process. If you don't make it personal when you are young and narcissistic, I don't think it's gonna work out for you very well in the end.
Well, when you think about it, okay, so not trying to throw out an ad read there, right? But if you invest in equipment from a tacklete, what we talk, a couple $100 if you get the Alice Ruck and all that kind of stuff. Spend a couple $100 with Kevin Edgerton at 18 Out Fitness, right? It like just in on and on. Less than $1,000. We'll just say if you just kit it out completely, not that you would ever need to do that or go that much, but in the long run, if that helps you, I'll tell you, when you're in the pool and you're drowning or you're on a ruck or a run and you are hurting so bad, you would gladly pay $1,000 to get out of that.
To go, yeah.
Or make it hurt less. Or I just give me a breath.
Right.
I will pay whatever amount of money. Just give me 2 minutes to breathe. But being able to invest in yourself and that level of training will help you get to that. We've talked about it before. The pipeline is 80% mental, 20% physical. And one of the Discord questions is like, hey, do we focus too much on fitness as a recruit? Do we focus too much on fitness? I'm like, no, because even though, and they said it because it's, primarily mental versus physical. I'm like, but in that range of using 100%, if I can take 20% of that and never have to worry about passing an eval, never have to worry about like, okay, this hurts, but like whatever, not worried about having to get all my pull-ups, push-ups, runs, whatever. That's 20% that I can just free up my mind to really focus on that 80%. So no, we don't focus on fitness for recruits too much because of that.
Yeah. Well, and newsflash, your entire career, that is almost always the first thing that you say about a guy. We all do it. You're like, oh, X guy, Dave Johnson. Oh yeah, dude, that guy's a beast. And then
K-Dub.
You're like, oh, exactly. Yeah. K-Dub is a freak of nature. Matt Beach is a freak of nature, Olympic level athlete who also just happens to be a great controller. But like when you're like, oh yeah, this guy, but I'll tell you what, you say it the other way too. You're like, oh, that fat piece of crap. Like he's great on the mic, but he can't run 400 meters. You know what I mean? Like those things are out there too. So, we expect a high level of physical fitness, but it kind of goes back to that why. People respect high level. When I look on Instagram, right, and I see dudes and chicks, guys and gals, and when I see somebody that is in ridiculously good shape or doing something, that is you cannot buy that with money. You have to invest in that over and over and over again. When we have a good friend, Shay, she's a fitness competitor. She's done remarkable things to get ready for her shows. She's a beautiful person. I know her personally. She's friends with me. I love her. She's awesome. What's up, Shay? But anytime that I see her pictures, I'm just like, oh my God, that is 2 days in the gym and weighing every ounce of food and making sure your vitamins and your supplementation is on point. That is getting up sore and tired and not feeling like going and refusing to stop. When I see somebody that's in that level of shape, It's a discipline. It speaks to their character. It's something that you cannot purchase. You can't just get surgery. There is no pill. That is waking up at 5 a.m. to go do fasted cardio when you just got out of the gym less than 8 hours beforehand and you were just trying to get to your next workout. That's what that is. And that's something, do we focus on physical fitness, too much? No, because that's a level of discipline that we want. You're not going to feel like training every day. You're not going to feel like working out every day. You're not going to feel like doing these things. And it transfers to everything. You're not going to feel like studying. You're not going to feel like showing up to your next training event and being completely mentally engaged. You're just not going to. We need to instill that discipline in you to go, okay, no matter what, I'm going to get this task completed, no matter how I feel about today. And it goes back to your why. Your why has to be there when you don't feel like it. You have to know that this is your bedrock. Okay, I understand that this is my why. I'm going to go today and I'm going to get this work done.
Yep.
Well, and those people have transitioned from extrinsic motivation to intrinsic motivation, right? And you see that, and even when you go to a development session, like you can see who's there because they want to be there. Like maybe they don't actually want to be there, but they're going to be there no matter what. That they have that. Yeah. It's not something that's happening to them anymore. It's something that they are doing,
right?
And that's what all that physical fitness and spending all those hours and time in there and creating that discipline. That's what that leads to is that intrinsic motivation that you're gonna have to have in order not to quit. Because if it's all extrinsic, external, whatever, and you don't have that discipline, you're gonna quit.
Yeah,
it's funny. Like I like, I've heard it before, but you just said it, Trent. Is, you're there, you're happening to it. It's not happening to you. And admittedly, during a pipeline, at least with being that young, it was happening to me.
Oh yeah,
100%. It was happening to me. That like there was no. Now we would joke and say like, dude, I get paid right now. I am in the pipeline. I am getting paid to work out. I am getting paid to get trained. I'm getting paid to jump out of planes. Like, okay, yeah, sure. Still get paid to do all that now, right? But there's a lot more that comes along with that. But in the pipeline, it just, hey, dude, I'm getting paid to work out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was. But it was happening to me instead of me, like I am here to deliberately get better.
Being an active participant in the process, right?
Yeah, I was a NPC just trying to survive.
That's a great way to put it. But we would say that to the students at Kirtland, at the apprentice course. We'd be like, hey, you're an active participant in this thing. Like being we'd say there's a phrase that we use all the time, just nugging it out. Like if you're just a nug, you're just showing up and hutting through your day. You know what I mean? I got to take this bag to this thing and I'm going to get yelled at in this specific way. And then it'll be over and I'll go back to my dorm room. And thank goodness. We used to tell people like, you're not a nug anymore, dude. Like you're an active participant in this training event. Show up and be ready to train like an adult. Like that's a hard thing for people to get used to because